Hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good to see you. Good to see you. Deputy Sheriff, you are number one in here tonight. All right. There you are. God bless. Good to see you. Good to see you. Much love. Deputy Sheriff number one. Number two is Janet. Hey, Janet, much love to you, girl. You know it. God bless. Number two. And let's see who is number three. Ha, Australia. There you go. There you go, girl. Number three, PT. Much love and prayers. Much love and prayers to you. God bless. Good to see you. And PG's little girl, number four. All right. It's good to see you guys in here. God bless. Good to see everybody. Let me see. Go down through here. AD, how you doing, sweetie? Brad, good to see you. Hey, girl, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. God bless. And Lindsay, 56, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Kathy. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Hello, all. Prayers for you all. Amen. Amen. That is beautiful. Aw, Brad, sissy, love you. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Aw, Carrie, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Hey, beautiful PG mods chat. Good to see y'all. Much love to you. You know it. And Loretta, how you doing, sweetie? Hey, she says, hi, all. Prayers and love to everyone. Hey, girl, prayers and love back to you. God bless. Good to see you in here. And I'm moving to the bottom here. Hey, Wendy, good to see you, girl. Good to see you. She says, hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. We're moving to the bottom. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? Suzanne, Michelle, how you all doing tonight? Good to see you. Hey, 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 girl, good to see you. 2025, how's it going? God bless. Hey, Jimmy, I appreciate that. God bless. Good to see you in here. Karen, how you doing? Oh, that's beautiful, Karen. Purple hearts for summer. God bless. Hey, spread love. Good to see you. Jessica. Oh, she said, Janet. Much love. Much love to you, Janet. You guys are beautiful. Hey, Jenny. Good to see you. Woohoo. My birthday's Wednesday. Hey, girl. Happy early birthday. God bless. God bless. We're going to have to be singing happy birthday come Wednesday. You guys know we love this. We love our birthday parties over here. God bless. All right. Yeah, I heard she was. I heard she was going to be coming on, um, and probably carrying on. Hey, Karen, good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Sheriff. Hey, hey, hey to you. I'm sure the sheriff is so happy. Everybody's being so kind tonight. Oh, her birthday's this month too. Jenny's birthday's this month as well. Happy birthday. Anyway, I wanted to get started tonight. So, So Sharon and Ziggy's no longer friends, right? Are they on the outsies? I think I heard they were on the outsies. He said, at my age, I'm passing my birthdays. Oh, I believe he's been off to the grandkids, right? That's a good one, Deputy Sheriff. That's a good one. That's funny. Oh yeah, that is so true. That is so true, Molly. Mm-hmm. Who would figure, right? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised seeing that Andrew was down there, with a big old trunk, with a big old suspicious trunk, pulling up at a one of those storage units, right? And Candus just happened to be the one at the storage unit meeting up with them. Hmm. I find that quite suspicious now that we know everything we know about Don and Candus and Grandis and Arkansas and Utah you know, we've learned a lot, right? We've learned a whole lot. Donald up there in Utah trying to sell his son. Then he's over in Arkansas where, law enforcement, child protective services came in, took a whole lot of kids from his and Pam's house, from their home that had been being, essayed, right? Children wasn't given back. The children were not returned. That was taken out of there. And, they belonged to these people that Don and Pam was going to different food, different food places, the free churches, that give out the food. Yeah. And the soup kitchens. They were going around to the soup kitchens, finding these young girls with children and pulling them back to their place. And they wasn't interested in the young girl. They was interested in those children because they had a whole lot of weirdos coming around who obviously, liked children. And these children happened to be, taken out of there. Someone, thank God, someone, made the phone calls that needed to be made, and law enforcement showed up and took those kids out of there. But that's how Candus got there too. Candus got there because she was pregnant at the time, and Pam took her in, thinking they were going to get another baby in there, another very young child. And thank goodness, when it was born, according to one of Candus's close girlfriends at the time, the baby was addicted to illegal substances and was, removed from Candus right at the hospital. She wasn't allowed to take the baby. So she went back to Don and Pam's house empty-handed, but, and then left with Donnie, after that, right? She left with Donald, after the law enforcement, child protective service, law enforcement came in, removing all those kids. Don got out of there and he took Candus with him, and left Pam there to to, you know, endure all the charges or whatever was going on at the time. And so that's, you know, that's how Dom works, right? He always runs and hides, gets out of it. And then they go over into Tennessee and they're meeting up at storage units with, you know, some guy out of New York City driving a big old Penske truck, right? Supposedly coming down here with like 19 children. And now, and according to Allison, they had like 17 to 19 children and a bunch, you know, and some adults as well, like Jose and some other adults. And they only had a Penske truck and another vehicle following. So, even if they had the Penske truck only rides two, the other vehicle's going to only ride two in the front and maybe three across the back. So, you know, and according to Allison, you know, they had some of the adults in the back of the truck as well, like Jose. Jose wasn't in any of the vehicles. He was in the back of the Penske truck. And I don't know who else, how many other adults were back there with him. But if they had, you know, like 17 to 19 children, we're just say they had 19. Three, the most would be three able to fit into the back of the vehicle. So, you know, we got 16 children unaccounted for that would have had to been in the back of that Penske truck, along with Jose and whatever other adults, the other adults that, you know, Allison was talking about. And I believe she said that there was, you know, like 9 adults. I think she said there was like 17, if I am not mistaken. She says like 17 kids and 9 adults. That's a lot, you know. Where did all these people go? They didn't go back to New York City. They came down there unloaded. It don't sound to me like there was any furniture to be unloaded. It sounded to me like, my opinion, that truck was full of about 12, 13 kids and possibly a few adults that got put inside of a storage unit. That's what it sounded like. And it sounds to me like Jose, you know, wasn't going to stick around. And then we have Jody Sue that says that Candus came knocking on her door, telling her that there's a van down on Ben Hill Road with children in the back of it, right? Children in the back of it. For sale. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Jody Sue saying that. And she was saying that she told Andy that she didn't care how he went and got one of them children, that he needed to get up, he needed to get everything together, and he needed to go and try to get one of them kids. That's exactly what she said. And Jody Sue I think Jody Sue's, I don't think Jody Sue's been holding back her feelings about all the people out here. Right? She's been pretty self-explanatory about how she feels, how she feels about YouTubers. She's been pretty self-explanatory. Right? I think so too. I think there's a whole lot of truth in some of the stuff Jody Sue was saying because she was a scorned woman. And scorned women, man, I tell you what, you can't shut their mouth. You cannot shut a scorned woman's mouth. Candus actually said that Andrew is her protection. She said that Andrew is her protector. Whoa, ain't that weird? And she's actually calling him sir, right? When I go over to Jody Sue Brown, be putting on all of her good makeup for me. Yeah. Oh yeah, Candus is a liar. Yeah, absolutely. Candus is one of the biggest liars that ever come down the pike, right? She's one of the biggest liars ever come down the pike. Right? Exactly. Exactly. Crafters. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Summer's about to be found. That's my opinion too. Um I have to Candace made some statements. I want to show you guys her statements before I go any further. I never even knew there was she tried to spell cemetery across the road until YouTube started everything. And I've never stopped anyone from anything. Just don't come on my property acting a fool. Well, I don't, for one, Candace, I heard people on your property was fighting to get off of it. Okay. Nobody wants to come there. Benny Keys said he wouldn't stay there. He got a hotel because he wouldn't amount to be on Ben Hill Road. Okay. And Ernie Shell, when he came up there, he had to bring somebody with him to keep him calm because he's like me. I believe Ernie's a germophobic, and he had to bring somebody with him to coaching that the cooties ain't going to be all over him just being in the yard. Right? So, no, I don't think you have to worry about people coming on your property acting anyway. You don't want nobody on that property. You made that plain and clear. When Ernie offered to get a lot of people, tons of people, right, together, so many people that every last one of them would have covered that 11 acres. They'd have covered it. There wouldn't even have been standing room for anyone else. They'd have been so many people there. Everybody holding hands to search that whole entire 11 acres to see if Summer was anywhere on it. You said no. You said no. Because you know why, Candace, you said no? You said no because you already know where your daughter is. You already know where she is. I think that you say no because you're afraid that they'll be too close. They'll be too close to where she truly is. And you're afraid that one of them might be able to see you looking or read your mind and know exactly what direction she truly was in. But we know that because every time you come out your door, you point at that camera towards the cemetery anyway, right? You pointed it over at that cemetery anyway. But you know what this comment right here tells me, Candus, because I'm brilliant. Ask your old husband right there. Ask Donnie. He'll tell you. Candus, the bitch is brilliant. All right. He'll tell you, Candus. Donnie will tell you. Very brilliant, Candus. Very brilliant, and that's you know why you hate me. It's because day one I figured out. Day one, I told you. I wrote in your chat, didn't I, Candus? You know me, Sissy Bible. I wrote in your chat day one when Summer went missing. I told you that you motherfuckers were the guilty ones. You kept trying to delete it. That's why. Won't you tell these people out here the truth why you don't like PG? Why don't you tell them you don't like me? Because I wrote, and you deleted it. You deleted it. So you know what, Candus? I posted it in there 500 times again, didn't I? I posted it in there so many times you couldn't delete it. You kept deleting, and it was in there so many times you couldn't keep up with it. Yeah, because I knew I was right. I should have stuck with my gut instead of letting my head get in the way, right? I shouldn't have gave you guys the benefit of the doubt, but I did. Just to be proved right again. Just to be proved what my gut already told me. Right, Candus? And that's why you dislike me. You need to tell the truth. Truth will set you free. Why don't you tell the truth and shame the devil? Right? Because all you do is lie. All you do is lie. And I'm going to prove that tonight, Candus. I'm going to prove tonight that you do nothing but lie. And I'm going to make a point to prove it. So you just sit in your seat. Right? Sit in your seat, Candus. And take a listen. Take a listen. That's what you need to do. Because everybody's going to hear the truth tonight. Unlike you, I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't got a damn thing to hide. I'm as honest as the day is long, Candus. You ain't going to find nobody. The only person probably more truthful than PG was Jesus himself. There you go, girlfriend. Right? There you go. I am bluntly honest. Because I don't care and I don't fear anything but God Almighty. That's it. Right? I ain't never met nobody as scumbucket and as evil as you guys, Candus Wells. But I'm going to tell you what, you ain't never met nothing like me either. That don't make us even, that makes us different. All right? That makes us different. But she says right here, she didn't know about that cemetery. She lives across the street from Morrison Cemetery. She knew about the cemetery. Liar. Freaking liar. Everybody knows about that cemetery over there. You don't live on Ben Hill Road and not know about the cemetery. Everybody knows about that cemetery. Hell is straight across the road. Please. And I'm going to tell you what. Don Wells, I believe that's where he started trying to call me the name Morrison, is from that cemetery. I think it was a threat. You know? I mean, I caught on to it because he kept talking about that Morrison Cemetery. Next thing he knows, you know, he's calling me Morrison. I was like, what? Yeah, trying to threaten me up. You know, you don't shut up, where are you going to end up? That's, you know, he was trying to threaten PG. And that's where that Morrison shit actually came from. Just to let you guys know. I never even knew there was a cemetery across the road until you two started everything. And I've never stopped anyone. You know what, Candus? You said you didn't say anything about stopping shit. Ain't nobody was talking about stopping anything. You said that you would be willing to do anything and look anywhere. And where did people want you to look? That you were ready to focus on where your daughter possibly is. And everybody said Morrison Cemetery. Everybody said, go over to Morrison Cemetery, Timothy Morrison's grave, where you left 2 flowers when you were memorializing Summer a few months ago. When you was memorializing her early, about the time you cut her hair off, not when she came up missing. When you started to plot against your own child, not when she came up missing. That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. But you figured when you started plotting against her, she's already gone, right? She's as good as gone anyway. So why not memorialize her then? These people don't know how you and Don think, but I do, don't I? And that's what scares you. That's what scares you. Well, right here, Candus, you did know. You did know. And you want to write this instead of hey. I didn't know about that cemetery, or I did know about the cemetery. You could, what you should have wrote here, Candus, is, yeah, there's a cemetery straight across the road from us. I didn't ever think about my daughter possibly being in there. And you know what? There is suspects. There is number 1 suspects, close neighbors saying she's over there. I want it checked into. I want it looked into. But no, Candus, you didn't say that. Here's what you said. Here's what you said, Candus. Let me show everybody. They're going to see everything you said. And that's why we need you to stay out here. You said PG is a joke. She's a joke. She's a joke. Sorry. She's a joke. Okay, Candus. Okay, PG's a joke. Let's hear what else you said, Candus. Because I got some news for you, girlfriend. She's a YouTube, and they're just going to look at her as a joke when I'm talking about, she's talking about when I'm talking about the cemetery. They're going to just look at PG as a joke when I'm talking about the cemetery. Oh, well, Candus, I'm going to tell you what. I actually talked to someone today. Candus. And you know what? I'm going to be talking to someone tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking to law enforcement, actually, Candus. Law enforcement. Because somebody wants to really hear what I got to say. They actually really do want to hear it, Candus. And I am to call back tomorrow. And I'm to speak with a certain person. All about this, Candus. And when I do, you know what I'm going to do, Candus? I'm going to send them this right here. I'm going to send them right here, Candus. Right there. Right there, your lie about not knowing the cemetery, calling me a joke. And right here, saying I'm not going to get took serious. And you know what? I'm going to get took serious now for sure. Because, see, this shows that you're scared of them taking me serious. This shows that, you know what, the cemetery is the place that needs to be looked into more than any place else now. So you know what? I appreciate you going over there and running your sut, being a keyboard warrior, running your keyboard warrior sut in good old Andrew so that PG could pick it up and get it all right. And I'm going to be so happy to turn it over to law enforcement. There you go, Candus. And I'm going to do everything I can to get that grave over there either exhumed or have it definitely went over with ground penetration. There you go, Candus. Yeah, you're scared. You're scared. You should be, because you're about to go to prison. You're about to go to prison, right, Candus? That wasn't a smart place to put somebody because you can't get them back out. That wasn't smart. That wasn't smart at all. You messed up. When you put that kid down in there, you fucked up. I don't know whose ideal that was, but it wasn't a good one. That's for damn sure. So you know what? If she's in there, you're going to jail. And she is going to get found. She will be found down in there. She's there. Trust and believe it. So you know what? Let's see what you have to say when they're over there, when they're pulling up over there, unloading all the equipment to get done what needs to be done. For Summer, the true victim, because you're not a victim, Candus. It is my opinion, and this is my opinion. In my opinion, you are an evil human being that plotted against your own child along with Don Wells to destroy her and had her destroyed on June 15, 2021. And then thought you covered it all up. But along came Andy Bernard and uncovered it. Well, we appreciate you, Andy. Everybody out here, Summer's Army appreciates you. And we're going to figure out if Summer's there or not. And if she is, Candus, honey, you're going to get a brand new pair of bracelets. That's all I got to say. You're going to get 2 bracelets. Not 1, you're going to get 2. And your old boy, Donnie, he going to get some too. And so is Grandma. Grandma, don't think Grandma getting away with anything, because she going to get bracelets as well. Y'all going to get bracelets. All 3 of y'all going to get bracelets. It might not be as hard on you, Candus, as it's going to be on Grandis and Donald. I hear old people in prison, it's not good. That's what I heard. I heard it's a lot easier when you're young to adapt to it. You might still be young enough to adapt a little bit to it, right? Yeah. But old Don Wells, I don't think he's going to adapt too well. He doesn't ever adapt too well. I heard he was out there tearing up the play yard at the jailhouse where he was at. They said they let him outside and he was out there tearing stuff up in the yard. Put a one in the chat if you guys heard that. That's what I heard. I heard he was out there tearing stuff up in the yard. Going all cuckoo. Oh, yeah. She sure will. Right? Right? If you don't bath in there, they'll hose you down. They'll hose you down if you don't bath in there. Yeah. She don't like water. Right? But they'll hose you down because, they can't have you. They can't have you stinking like that. Yeah, they will. They'll make you shower. Ain't that the truth? That's funny stuff right there. I didn't think about that, but yeah. That's true. That's true. Oh, I trust them to look. I trust them to look. Because when they go to do that, the state's going to be paying for it. And if the state's paying for it, then the state's going to have people out there that knows what they're doing and reporting everything back. And there ain't going to be no cover up because there'll be too many people out there, and nobody's going to let that get covered up. Oh no, it's too many hands, too many different departments, too many hands. So there's no covering this up. Absolutely not. See right there, she says, yes, sir, Andrew. She calls him sir. Her protector. Mr. Sir is her protector. Right? This guy can't even protect himself. He's always holding the cat, right? He's always holding this cat, squeezing it and doing all kinds of weird stuff, and holding on to that thing to protect him. He can't protect himself. How's he in hell he's going to protect her? Come on. That's insane. I don't know. She had a thing for Benny. She had a thing for for Ernie. Now seems like she's got a thing for Andrew, right? Man, I'm gonna tell you, that's disgusting. That's disgusting. PG just mad because my husband don't want her. Are you freaking kidding me, Candus? Are you kidding me? Let's hear your husband, Candus.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there like prayer gardens, and I've talked to a lot of other women and people out there that are all over this case, and they've just studied this, and they got memories like a computer, and they're on top of it as far as even the things, and we're on the same page as far as some of the people in the entire investigation. And I wish that they would all get together and compare notes, like prayer gardens. She's paid close attention to a lot of details.
Whoa. Ain't that your Donnie, Candus? You know, I'm not sure, you guys. Put a one in the chat, but isn't that Donnie? Put a one in the chat if that was just Donnie. Talking super good about PG. Yeah. I think it was. Right? Absolutely. That was your husband, Candus. Right there. Right there, honey. That was your old man talking super good about PG. Actually, he was agreeing that I am brilliant. You know, I think that's why you have a problem with me. Here I am keeping it professional, Candus. I keep it professional, right? Like he said, I've been on top of this case from day one, figuring out everything I possibly can for the victim. Summer Moon, you told well something you ain't done, and it's your own daughter. And I've kept it professional with everybody I've spoke with, including your old man. And he knows it, and you know it, and I know it, and God knows it. And that's, you know what, Candus, that's all I care about. That's all I care about. It's the fact you know it, he knows it, I know it, and God knows it. You're a liar. You're the devil's daughter. All liars are the children of Satan. And that's what you are. Why don't you try telling the truth and shaming the devil, girlfriend? Huh? I tell you what, Candus, I am, I ain't responsible for your sins, but I am responsible to tell you that you need to quit sinning and find Jesus Christ and get yourself, your eyes open, and start doing what's righteous in the sight of God. I am entitled to tell you that. And I just did. I hope you listen. Right? Because I told you. Now the burden won't ever be on me. There you go. You're told. I will shake the dust from my feet and move on. Because you are a liar. Where I'm concerned, you're a liar. I'm sorry. I had to. LOL. No, you didn't have to lie, Candus. You wanted to. You wanted to lie right there. And you did lie. I'm not perfect. But do I love my kids and other kids? Yes. I am not perfect. But do I love my kids and other kids? Yes. That's, no. If you loved your kids, your little girl would still be there. If you loved your kids, your sons would still be there. If you put your kids before yourself and before everything else, you would still have your family. And you don't, because you didn't put nobody before you at all. You didn't even put yourself. Before you, Candus. You didn't take care of your kids. You didn't take care of you. You didn't take care of anyone. That's why your kids are not there. If you cared about yourself, you wouldn't have ever been into illegal substances. If you cared about your kids, you would have been with your first kids up in Wisconsin. You wouldn't have been in Arkansas. You wouldn't have been in Tennessee. You'd have been in Wisconsin with your first two children if you really cared about kids. So stop the lying. You destroyed them. You went over into Arkansas, destroyed another baby that you had, and you came over into Tennessee and ended up destroying another one and your three boys along with it. And that's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. We know what you did. It ain't even my opinion what you did up in Wisconsin. That's true. That's truth. Your daughter even came out here and talked. The one that got shuffled all through Child Protective Services. She came out here and talked, Candus. The one over in Arkansas will probably come out and talk, but she probably don't even know you exist. Thank God for that, yes? And the four you had in Tennessee, well, they probably wished they wouldn't have knew you either, but they did. And one's missing, and the other three are refusing to come home. They're begging judges. They're begging people to keep them so they don't have to return to you. So you know what? You love your kids? I don't think so. I don't think so, because people who love their kids don't lose them like that. I called her baby girl. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You called her a lot of things, Candus. Allison told you called her a lot of things, but wasn't baby girl. Did you really think a YouTuber creator was going to actually find her? I mean, they're YouTube creators. Then she talks to this guy, Matt Griffin. I was not the one that went to YouTube first. My husband did. I'm going to tell you something, Candus. You was in the background talking to all kinds of people. Why don't you tell the truth? Yeah, Donald came out and was talking to Cher. But you were in the background of all of this. You was talking to multiple supporters, trying to feed them a bunch of BS lies about all kinds of stuff in order to get them to continue to support your lying, greasy self. And I'm going to tell you something. You've done a great job at pulling the wool over all of their eyes until they finally woke up and seen who you truly are and what you were truly about. Right, Candus? And it didn't take long. You ain't got none of those supporters now because they all seen who and what you was. Just like the one you sent to Ziggy's, right? Just like the one you sent over to Ziggy's. She saw you for what you was too, and ended up telling the whole truth on you. So, you know, and you were crying. You was actually crying over her, but you couldn't cry over Summer. You're shedding tears because you lost a little friend that didn't do what you wanted her to do. Attack PG. And you were bawling. You were pouring tears. You were more hurt over losing your little girlfriend than you was about your daughter. That's disgusting. That's damn disgusting. Right? Yeah, it is. It's very sickening. It's very sickening, right? Yeah, Dudley said it too. Yeah, that she told him that she hated the kids, that she hated them. This is a bunch of trash talk YouTube people not talking about you, Andrew. They're always not talking about you. Her and Don always says, oh, Dolly, I'm not talking about you, Dolly. Oh, you know, Cher, I ain't talking about you, Cher. Oh, Benny, I'm not talking about you, Benny. PG, I'm not talking about you, PG. You know, they always, you know, they're talking about everybody. Everybody. They're putting all the eggs in the basket together. Come on. As you know. She talking mad shit about Andrew, too, behind his back. Trust and believe it. How can you sit there and cuss, but say you are a follower of God? You know what, Candus? I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it says, you know, people go to hell for cussing. But I do know where it says you're going to go to hell for lying. You're going to go to hell for stealing. You're going to go to hell for murder. You're going to go to hell for a lot of things, right? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie, right? You're the one that needs to read your Bible, not PG. Not PG. Don't bear false witness against your neighbor. You be doing all of that shit. You be doing all of it. So don't, he without sin cast the first stone, baby. You ain't even able to get near a stone, Candus. You ain't even able to get near one, let alone, you're so freaking evil you couldn't even get near one. You're so far away from casting a stone, it's unbelievable. There she goes. Contradicts herself, right? Right there, she's contradicting herself. So, what I did a live. So what? I did a live and cussed two-faced people out. So what? I did a live and cussed two-faced people out. Ain't you the one sitting in church, Candus, acting like you're a Christian? You and Donnie, bona fide Christians, going to church all the time. Ain't you the one hanging around with Robin, acting like you're some kind of freaking saint and everything else? And hey, but you cuss, huh? But you're allowed to cuss, but nobody else is, right? That's how you evil people are. Oh, I thought you're a Christian, when they come down to your level and straighten you out. When you see that they ain't going to let you use them for a speed bump or a doormat, that ain't going to let you put your foot in the door and do what you and Donald did to that one poor lady you trapped at the refrigerator, and she had to push you out of the way to get herself to safety, right? And then you guys tried to take over her house. Then you literally try to take the woman's house over, and law enforcement put you out. Law enforcement had to put you out. I'm going to tell you what, Candus, there ain't nobody ever had to put me out of anywhere. Anywhere. Matter of fact, everywhere I've ever been, they always say, please stay longer. You got to go. Really? Because I'm going to tell you, Candus, I'm a plus, not a minus. Anywhere I go, I make sure that I take good stuff with me. When I go to visiting people, I take dinner with me. I take lunch with me. I take coffee and donuts with me. I always take stuff with me, Candus. I always help. If there's anything that needs to be done, I'm right there with two hands helping. And I tell you what, I can go all over a person's house and they have no worries, because you know what, Candus? I'm not a thief. I'm not a liar. I'm just two helping hands, a kind person, and I'm all give, no take. Unlike you. Unlike you. And people like to keep me. They don't like to send me away. But they sure in the hell don't want you, do they? They don't want you. Absolutely not. Next month, I'm going to go on live, and she ain't going to like it. Well, you go on live. You go live, girlfriend. I want you to go live. I want you to run your SUT all you can, because every time you run your SUT, it helps Summer's case, Candus. It helps your daughter's case. So please, please do. I love to see it. I love to see it. Right? It's okay. I'm not going to let her get to me, but she needs to be put in her place. I'm going to tell you what, girlfriend. I'll hand you your backside. I hand you your backside, you come at me sideways. And I won't have a problem doing it. I had no problems last night, and I won't have no problems in the future. Don't even be threatening PG up. Don't threaten me up. I don't like people threatening me up. Hell to the no. Don't even go there. You're scared of that cemetery. You're afraid. You know that that's where you went over there and you guys put your daughter. And you know you're going to prison when they go over there and start looking. And when I talk to law enforcement tomorrow, I'm going to tell them everything, Candus. I'm going to tell them everything. I'm going to send them everything. I'm going to show them that you're scared. And that's even more reason to be over there looking. And I've got people right here. I got my mods right here. And you don't think they're going to be making phone calls tomorrow and sending it as well? Because they will. They will. Law enforcement's already got a lot of information about that cemetery, and you just handed us a lot more. So you know what? There you go. There you go. When I get off of here tonight, I'm going to correspond with a couple of my mods, and they're going to be sending everything in as well, Candus. Everything as well. Trust and believe me. I'll be sending what I want to them, and they'll be sending it over to law enforcement as well. Because you know what, Candus? We know there's power in numbers. We know that there is power in numbers. And we number out here quite a bit. Actually, we number into the thousands. Into the thousands, Candus. This video right here is going to be seen probably on 300 to 400,000 times. So you know what? You're gonna have a lot of people snatching on to what you said at the beginning of this text stuff about the cemetery, and everybody knows you're lying, and then trying to convince yourself that you don't have to worry because law enforcement ain't going to listen to PG, just an old YouTuber. That right there shows you're scared. And that's, and that makes that cemetery even more solid now to be checked into. And let me tell you, it will be checked into no matter, even if I have to go over law enforcement's head and go higher up. I'm going to be doing it, Candus. I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. I'm going to be calling as high up as I got to go to get it done. Because I want your daughter found. I want justice served. I want justice for Summer Moon Utah Wells. I want justice for that little girl that did not deserve the abuse, the pain, the misery, and all the things that she was put through up there on 110 Ben Hill Road. If you like, Candus, I could play the 911 call. I could play the 911 call to everybody so they can hear exactly what Summer was going through up on Ben Hill Road. I have no problem pulling it out and playing it. I really don't. The thing is, Andrew loves his children, and I love mine, and we both love others' kids. What the heck does that mean? Do you see what she said here? The thing is, Andrew loves his children. I love mine, and we both love others' kids. We both love other people's kids. What the fuck is that about? Yeah, ain't that a mother freaking weird comment to make? Look at that. You know what that comment right there tells me? That comment right there tells me that these two are, are partners in freaking crime. That these two right here are into some crap together. This is like their little inside joke. This is like, he knows and she knows, and this is their little inside, ha 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 ha, little inside joke. Partners in crime, inside joke, telling it but not telling it. This is sick. This right here is absolutely a sick comment. Another one of their sick, twisted freaking games that they want to laugh behind the scenes about. They're fucking disgusting. I'm going to tell you right now, they are disgusting. I'm going to tell you, everybody in here better take heed of how evil the evil people this world has in it. You better take heed to the last words right there on this comment. We both love others' kids. I'm going to tell you this right, those last words right there is why you need to keep an eye on your children and your grandchildren every damn second. Because these people right here are loose. They're loose in the world. Beware, baby. Beware. They're sick and they're twisted. Wow, PG, you are so in love with my husband, LOL. She's having wet dreams, LOL. Candus, the only one having wet dreams is you, honey. All you did by making that comment right there is letting me know what was going on with Benny Keys, what was going on with Ernie Shell, what was going on with Hunter, what was going on with all of these different men, and what's probably going on with Andrew right now. You're talking about yourself, Candus, because you don't know me. You can't talk about me because you don't know me. You're talking about you. You're talking about yourself. Ask Donnie how that makes him feel. Why don't you ask your husband, how does that make him feel when you're sitting around having wet dreams about Benny Keys? How did it make him feel when he was in prison and you were out hanging around and hanging on to? Ernie Shell, the one person he couldn't stand the most. You were out there hanging all over, wanting to go fishing in the dark, right? You wanted to go fishing in the dark and you wanted him to be in his birthday suit. How did Donnie feel when you were over there at the hotel and getting all jealous and upset because Benny decided to spend the night with somebody else instead of you? How did your old man feel about that? Because you thought you was going to be spending the night with him and found out he wanted your girlfriend instead. Why don't we get some truth out of you, Candus? Let's get some truth out of you. Because you know what? You're the one supposed to be married to Don Wells. You're just one that's supposed to be married to this freaking evil, weird man that was, in a 911 call attacking your daughter. Right? Attacking your daughter because he didn't get as much time in the shower with her as he wanted. And he felt he had every right to use and abuse and do whatever he wanted with her. And nobody should have anything to say about it. Matter of fact, Candus, didn't you get a brand new Subaru to keep your mouth shut about what really was going on in that shower that night? When Jose made you get her out because he was going to if you didn't? Didn't you get a brand new Subaru? Girl, don't you ever talk about me. Don't you ever talk about me, because I'm going to tell you something. Ain't no man ever be touching my kids. Nobody be touching my kids. I tell you that right now, bitch. You take that to the bank. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. You better not even think about it. Better not even cross your mother freaking mind. I tell you that right now. My kids come first. My kids come first and above all. I'll let you know right now, girl. They ain't no man been born. And he ain't about to ever get born because his daddy isn't even here anymore. That I allowed to do something like that to my child. But you sit there and allowed it, didn't you? You sit there and allowed it, and you got rid of Jose. You guys hauled him out of there. You got that brand new Subaru, and you let that dirty, slimy husband of yours continue to shower with that little girl and to continue to use and abuse her, not only in that shower, but in that bed and anywhere else he wanted to, and you didn't care. You didn't care. You knew the whole time what was going on with him and her and probably a lot of other people. A lot of other people, right? Let us remind you, Candus Wells, right now. Let me remind you of something right here, right now, while I'm thinking about it. I want to remind you of this.
You said you had.
Where the f*** you get that shit from?
Don, you said you had
Holy
videotapes
crap.
of me.
What happened? What did you say, Betty? I have videotapes of Josh, apparently. What the f***?
I don't know why you're laughing.
Holy
You're the one that said it.
Are you serious?
Don, you said.
How do you know that I said that? Why would I say that?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Number one, I don't lie, bitch. You can get that through your
I don't.
right
I
now.
mean, everybody lies.
No, I don't lie.
Please, would one of my mods give Josh credit in the chat, please? Give Josh credit for this. God bless him. Give him credit.
I don't lie, motherfucker.
I'm not sure why Candus thinks it's so funny. I can play it for you if you want to hear it.
Because my boss called me, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, look, Josh.
Okay.
You can cough or you can suck a dick or whatever you want to do.
All right.
Whatever the f*** it is you do, you little
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
But my boss called me the other day. Man. Yes.
Okay.
Richard.
Oh.
He called me. I said that I sold somebody a tape, right? I sold some motherfucker a tape for $5,000 that showed him how to sex with my daughter, right? And then I sold, and he was crying. This motherfucker was actually crying. This motherfucker is like a big shot of this community. Like, holy fuck! And he was crying. He says, "But they're calling me a child molester," and I'm like.
There you go, Candus. There you go, Candus. Let me remind you. Let me remind you that you knew everything this man was doing to your little girl. Even trafficking her out. And that's not my words. That's yours and Donnie's. That's yours and Donnie's words right there, Candus. Right there. You and Donnie sitting there telling someone that you actually exploited your child and let other people exploit her for money, for profit. You were letting people have at. How sick is that? How sick is that? You heard it right out of the horse's mouth, you guys. Right out of the horse's mouth. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being 4 years old? 3, 4, 5 years old? Could you even imagine your parents allowing old men to come in, big old, smelly, old men to come in and do sinister things to you while they video record it. Use and abuse you, scare you, hurt you, touch you and violate you. And then laugh about it. And then sit and laugh about it after you're missing. Can you imagine that? You imagine being put through that misery, that fear, that pain, that suffering? And then be completely destroyed because someone went too far and you couldn't get the medical care needed because people like this right here was worried about going to prison instead of worried about taking you to a hospital and seeing if you could actually be saved. They just decided no. Do you really want to see Candus's face or hear her mouth after this? Does anybody really want to see her face or even hear her mouth about anything after hearing this? They just admitted that they trafficked their own 5-year-old missing little girl before she went missing. To their boss. To their boss. And in the 911 call, well, in the 911 call, we heard a very scared, frightened child screaming, "Help me, help me, please help me. Somebody, anybody, please help me, because I've got none here. I have none here. Can you hear me? Please." But nobody was listening. Nobody listened. And it probably just got worse. It probably got worse. Because at that time when no one listened, they felt they got away with it. And they could continue to do it and bring others in to do it too. Until this little girl wasn't able to take the abuse no more. And now she's gone. We don't even have to think what happened to Summer. We don't even have to think about it. That right there, that what they just said told us everything we needed to know. What they just said let us know why she had to be destroyed. And we know that they were the ones that did it because Domwell started driving a different vehicle on the 14th. He fired his coworker to blame it on. And on the 15th, it all went down when they had a big open grave over there to put her in, and thought she won't ever be found. Well, I think she will. I believe she will now. Yeah. Sad for an innocent child. Absolutely. I think he fired the coworker to blame it on. Law enforcement always asks you, first thing they ask you when something bad happens, is there anyone angry with you? Anyone that you know of would want to do this? They always ask that every time. And these criminals know it. And they wanted to make sure they were going to be able to say, yeah, that coworker I fired just yesterday, to take the focus off of them. They set Dudley up. They set that man up to take a fall for their own fucking evilness. That's what they did. They were about to let an innocent man go to prison for their own damn evilness. Absolutely. Absolutely, Christina. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. Right? But you heard it out of their own mouths. Who does that? Who does this? Who does this?
But my boss called me the other day. Man. Yes.
Okay.
Richard.
Oh.
He called me. I said that I sold somebody a tape, right? I sold some motherfucker a tape for $5,000 that showed him having sex with my daughter, right? And then I sold, and he was crying. This motherfucker was actually crying. This motherfucker is like a big shot of this community. Like, oh, holy fuck! And he was crying. He said, "But they're calling me a child molester," and I'm like, I started laughing.
Absolutely disgusting, right? Absolutely disgusting. You're disgusting, Candus. And I'm going to tell you another thing. What you wrote right here is disgusting as well. This is disgusting. Just disgusting. PG and Cher both sent him nude pictures, and he said, "How gross. Old people. LOL." I'm going to tell you something, Candus. I want you to produce the pictures I supposedly sent your husband. I want you to produce those pictures. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out, Candus. I'm calling you out for the liar you are. I seen you show the pictures of Cher that you guys got off of her Facebook. Now, I don't know if she sent them to Donnie or she didn't send them to Donnie, but I do know they were on her Facebook. And it's probably where, you know, she didn't send them, then probably this where you guys took them from. I don't know nothing about Cher because you know what? I'm not her, I'm me. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm calling you out. You show those pictures, Candus. You start a live up and you show those pictures of PG. You show the pictures that PG sent your old man in her birthday suit. You do that. If you got them, baby, show them. You have my permission. You got my permission to show them, Candus, if you have them. Because you know what? You don't. You don't. I am professional. I am professional. I keep my life professional. Online and offline. I keep myself professional. I dress professional. I look professional. I am professional. Your old man ain't got nothing of me. Matter of fact, my old man didn't have nothing of me. And neither does my fiance, because I don't allow people to do that kind of dirtiness. You better not bring a camera anywhere near me. Period. I feel the people's bodies are sacred. You are to keep your body clothed, and nobody's to see it but your husband and yourself. You don't go around showing people what you got. I don't believe in, oh, you got it, flaunt it. No, I got it, but I ain't flaunting it. I'm very conservative, and I want my daughter to be conservative because conservative people are safe. I want my daughter to have morals. I want her to respect herself, and I want her to demand to be respected. Something you know nothing about, Candus. You know nothing about it because you ain't ever respected anyone, and you ain't ever had anyone truly respect you. You've been with a bunch of low-life human beings. You're with one now, but you are one. That ain't my opinion. That's the truth. That's the truth. What I just played out proves that it is the truth. So you show those pictures. You show them because you're a liar. And I'm going to tell you something, Candus. You're lying about everything. You're lying about June the 15th. You're lying about everything. You're lying about the reason that you went into Kingsport, Tennessee. You're lying about every damn thing that happened on June 15th. You're lying about planting flowers. You're lying about getting something to eat. You're lying about, you probably did do some laundry. You probably did do some. I wouldn't doubt you didn't throw some stuff in the washer because you felt that it could incriminate your ass when law enforcement got there. I'm not doubting that at all. But I'll tell you what, you sure in the hell didn't plant no flowers. You didn't wash no hands. That baby got no piece of candy. That baby couldn't eat a piece of, she couldn't eat a piece of candy no more. She could have drank that slushy that you bought for show. And you know it. Who drank it, Candus? Who drank summer slushy? when you ordered it at Sonic's? Who drank it? Because she didn't. Was it you? Was it Grandma? Which one of you guys were sick enough to suck down an online little girl slushie? That's what I want to know. Which one of you got that slushie in your body? That's my question. Because she sure didn't get it. Right, Candus? That's my opinion. I'm going to keep it. Hunter wouldn't have been shaken and carrying on and hiding in his room, refusing to come out and acting all fucking weird and strange and out of it if something wouldn't have went down at that swimming hole that day. If that little girl would have been alive when that boy got out of the car and went up to his door, he wouldn't have been acting all weird. He had to sit in that vehicle with an online kid looking at it, and it got to him. It got to him to the point that he almost lost it. He couldn't handle it. But that's what you guys do to people, right, Candus? You guys go around and you try to get other people to do your dirty work. Because that's what you and Don do. You're cowards. You're cowards. Like you try to get Day to do your dirty work. You try to get other people to do that dirty work for you. You're manipulators. And you know, you can manipulate weak-minded people. But you can't manipulate strong-minded people, can you, Candus? You don't like people like PG, because I can't be manipulated by your evil asses. You didn't like Molly Golightly because she couldn't be manipulated by you. You're going to get manipulated by people like us. And you did, didn't you? And you did. That's what you and Don's pissed about, is you got manipulated. Yeah, you sure the hell did. You don't like people that ain't willing to sit around and take yours and Donnie's crap. You don't like people that's going to call you out for what you are and how it really was and is. You don't like that. Most evil people don't. Stand in line, Candus. There's a lot of people ahead of your ass. He doesn't want none of them want to be old ass. Yes, most definitely. Her husband was okay with it. She must be talking about Cher, because I got a fiance. I don't have a husband right now, Candus. So why didn't you say my fiance probably was okay with it too? Because you ain't got none of me. I don't know what you got of Cher. I don't know. I know you guys brought some pictures that she already had out. I mean, they were everywhere anyway. You know, Cher don't have a problem showing herself. A lot of women don't. And that's their prerogative. I respect other people's choices, and I want my choice respected as well. There ain't nothing wrong. It ain't nothing wrong. That's what makes the world go round, is all of us are different. All of us making different choices. And all I care is we all stay on the same page when it comes to being normal-minded and being for the victim instead of criminals. If you are normal-minded staying on the same page that victims are the victims and criminals are criminals, and we are for the victims, not criminals. I'm good with you. I don't care what you show. I don't care how you live your life. I don't care. I'm good with you. I like good people. I like good people. It ain't none of my business if people want to dress or not dress. It's none of my business and who they want to go with and who they don't. It's not my business who they want to send certain pictures to and not send them to. Not my business. But it is my business when somebody's trying to say I sent something I didn't. And I don't like liars. I don't like people bearing false witness against me. Just shows me that you're a child of Satan. And a child of Satan is capable of doing anything. If you are Satan's child, if Satan's your daddy, then you're capable of doing anything. Which you and Donnie was capable of doing anything a long time ago, right, Candus? You're two peas in the same fucking pot. You know why you're lying on me, Candus? Because you want people. You think that you can manipulate these people with your fucking lies. I think 4 years later, Candus, I think these people out here know that PG don't want Donnie. I think they all know that PG just wants Summer found. She just wants Summer found and those little boys to have closure and justice served against the evil bastards that could do such an evil thing to a 5-year-old little girl. Because Summer deserves a voice. She deserves a place of rest of her own, not someone else's. And those 3 boys, they need to know they had nothing to do with what happened to their sister. What happened to her happened long before you came to Ben Hill Road that day, Candus. That little girl didn't even get out of that vehicle. You gaslighted him into believing she did, but she didn't. And you know it. She went nowhere around there. And you felt so good when they believed your bullshit. Like she was there when she wasn't. You're a piece of garbage. That's my opinion. I'll keep it. And you're even bigger piece of garbage for letting your sons, 3 young boys, you don't care if they live a normal life or they don't. You don't care no more about them living a normal life than you did your daughter up there in Wisconsin, getting shuffled around to all kinds of different homes. Oh, you was lucky enough to have mommy and daddy move themselves all the way to Wisconsin to get you medical treatment. You were lucky enough to have one stable home your whole life, but you couldn't fucking give it to your children up there in Wisconsin, could you? No, because you're a selfish, self-centered human being that don't care about nobody but you and what little Candus wants. Don't sit around and act like you like children when you destroyed 2 there, 1 over in Arkansas, which makes 3, and 4 more. 4 more, Candus. 4. Including the ones in Tennessee. 7 children. 7 children destroyed at the hands of you. I can't believe Child Protective Services allowed it. I can't believe they allowed it after you destroyed the first 3. I can't believe that they wasn't taking them away from you as soon as you had them after that. Strike one, strike two, strike three, you should have been out. No more. No more children to abuse at the hands of you. Our system's messed up. Our system is messed up. Oh, I heard that. I heard that PG's little girl, absolutely. He can't live a normal life. He was born a happy, healthy little boy, and he's completely destroyed now because of Candus. Because of Candus. She wants to feel like people's protecting her. But did she protect any of those babies? Did she protect anyone? The answer is hell no. She didn't protect anybody. Candus didn't care about, she didn't put her children before herself. She didn't make sure that they had a nice home, plenty of food, nice clothes. She didn't make sure that, they could read and write. She didn't get up every day and, build them up. No, she tore them down. She tore them down. She didn't make herself a role model for her children, right? You can't tell your children not to do what you're doing. You cannot tell them that. You don't want your kids doing illegal substances, then you better not be doing them yourself. You don't want your children, becoming an alcoholic, then you better not be drinking or becoming one yourself. You are their main role model. Every child, the parents are every child's hero. They want to be just like daddy and mommy. Well, you want to raise good kids, you got to be good yourself. You want to raise educated kids, you got to have education. You got to build your children up, not tear them down. You got to let your children know that through God, all things are possible. There is nothing impossible with God. If you can think it, you can do it. And God will give you the courage. He'll give you the strength. He'll give you all the tools. And He'll watch and make sure that you accomplish all your dreams. Because God is a success and He wants everyone else to be a success as well. I looked at someone today and I said, and I don't know why, but I looked at him and I said, why do you think God gives children to people like Don and Candus Wells instead of people who truly want a baby? Someone who would really love them children, really cherish them. Gave them everything, Why? I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. I guess God wants to believe in everybody like we do. I think he wants to believe in everybody and give everyone opportunity, just like, like we want to. And I think Don and Candus failed. I think they failed miserably. God put them through a test and they failed it. And Summer had to come here. God had to send that sweet little angel here to save those 3 boys. Because one of them, maybe 2 of them, maybe all of them, was praying that somebody would come and save them too. And Summer showed up and did it. I have to believe that. I have to believe that because I can't think of any other reason a child would have to go through what this baby has to save her brothers. I can't imagine any child suffering and enduring this kind of hurt, this kind of pain, this kind of suffering, this kind of misery, this kind of hell on earth. And I'll tell you what's the most disturbing of it all is looking at 2 demons that have no conscience, no heart, no mercy, no kindness, no love, and no remorse for what the fuck they have done. That's the saddest part of all. Yes, PG and Cher both. And Cher's husband was okay with it. How sick. It's like high school all over again. Well, I'm going to tell you something. What can Cher's husband do about you and Donnie going through Cher's Facebook and stealing all of her pics? What can he do about that? Why does he even care? If everyone else in the world has seen it, why does he care? Cher is in Canada with her husband, not in the United States. She's all the way in Canada. I don't think he has to worry about Cher coming back into the United States for no freaking Don Wells. You know what you're really pissed off about, Candus? What you're really pissed off about is Cher was able to get your Donnie to run his mouth enough to let everybody know how mother freaking sick and guilty you guys are. PG was able to get your Donnie and you to run your mouth enough to know how damn guilty you are. And a whole lot of other people have been able to get you and Donnie to run your mouth to know how damn guilty you are. And you're guilty as hell, in my opinion, Candus. You're guilty as fucking hell. Nobody came up there and took Summer. They didn't have an opportunity to take Summer June the 15th, 2021, Candus. They didn't have an opportunity. What would they have been taking? A deceased body? What would they have been taking? An online child? Out of the back seat of Grandis's car, propped up on milk jugs? Oh, yeah. That's what them hillbillies down there are looking for, right, Candus? That's what you called them, hillbillies. I'm going to tell you, being called a hillbilly is not an insult to me, Candus. Because I'm going to tell you something about hillbillies. They are kind, caring, truthful, loving, God-fearing, upstanding human beings. They come from God's country. And they always are giving instead of taking. And they know how to love one another, and they know how to care about one another, and they know how to take care of one another as well. They are a community that comes together as one and truly cares, something you know nothing about. To be called a hillbilly, to be called a country person, honey, that's a comment. That is a compliment right there. A compliment. God bless us all. God bless us all. I'm going to tell you now. I don't care. I don't care if you're a hillbilly. I don't care if you come from the north. I don't care if you come from the south, the east, or the west. They good people everywhere. There's good people all over the world. There's good people. There's good people from every culture on the face of this planet who truly know how to care, truly know how to love, truly know how to protect. Not just the people they love, but everybody. They stand up for everyone as one. They are all one voice. They're all one voice. They're all one voice. Shouting and singing out loud. Up to the heavens, Candus. Up to the heavens. Because they are all one. Under God. And God-fearing through his son, Jesus Christ. And they know how to treat people. They know how to love people. And if any of them that had those four kids would have had a beautiful life. And you know the sad thing about it, Candus? You would have been jealous. You would have been jealous of those four kids having a better life with those people, like you are now, with the people who have them. You didn't want to supply the life they got now, but you're jealous that they got it because that's how sick you are. You love your children? No, you don't. No, you don't. You want your children back going through hell and misery and pain instead of being where they're at, safe, loved, cared about, and doing great. You're jealous. That you can't make them miserable. That you can no longer be hateful, ugly, and in control. It's sad, ain't it? It's sad, but it's true, Candus. And I'm going to tell you something. I want you to show those pictures. Stop saying you got them if you ain't going to show them. You get with Day Day. You get with Day Day, because she'll be more than glad to put them out. Oh, I know her. She'd be more than glad, Candus, to throw them out here. So you make sure your ass gets them, and you make sure she puts them out here. Make sure she puts them out here, because you ain't got them. You ain't got them. You know what you are? You're a liar. You're a fake, and you're a liar. And if you lie about something as stupid as some damn pictures, then you certainly would lie to protect your ass from going to prison. Put them out here, Candus. Put them out here. I tell you now, she done came on to Day Days, and I have a recording of it. I have a recording. She done came on to Day Days, and she said she has no pictures of PG. Day Day was wanting them. Day Day was telling her to send them to her. You got pictures, Candus? Send me them pictures, Candus. Oh man, Day Day, boy, she was heated up. She was heated up. She was all hot and bothered to see my pictures. Been wanting to see my tatas for a long time. How disgusting is that? How disgusting is that? I'm going to tell you, they ain't nothing no woman has that PG wants to see, okay? I don't want to see it. Trust and believe me, I don't want to see it. And I don't want them seeing mine. That's just ungodly. That's ungodly. And I'm going to tell you now, I am not ungodly. There ain't nothing ungodly about me. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I'm going to tell you now, I've got a heaven to win and a hell to shun. And I'm going to do everything I can to gain that heaven. The only thing that I'm looking forward to and the only thing that I want is my God. I don't want money. I don't want anything on this earth. I don't need materialistic BS to make me happy. What I need is my God. Nothing more, nothing less. I know what counts in this world. And I know who I need. I know who everybody needs, but everybody ain't smart enough to know it. But I am. And I'm going to tell you, as long as I got God and I got Jesus, honey, I've got it all. I don't need nothing else. I'm rich. I am very rich because God loves me. And I love him with everything I've got. Money don't make people rich. Everything that's worth something is free in this life. Everything that's worth anything is free. Don't cost $1. I wish people would know that. Yeah. And supposedly, Tony, I did. Supposedly, I showed all my goody no spots, like that. Right? Supposedly, I did. That's what I'm hearing. Right? I must have did it. I must have did it without knowing, right? Something I done without knowing. I have no recollection of it. Let me find the pics. I'll tell you what, Candus, you'll be looking forever any fucking day because they don't exist and you know it. They don't exist. But you know what? Your big fat lies do. And guess who your daddy is? Satan is the father of all liars. The Bible plainly says it. The father of all liars. So, Candus, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? The devil, right? Yeah. We know who your daddy is. Sure do. Let's take a look at this.
I have said this since the beginning to people that made a difference. That I've told people about having the dream that I've, in the open grave. It's been told. It's not a lie. And I have heard my whole life that the best time to get rid of somebody is when there's an open grave. The dude was buried on what day? The 18th? Okay, so 3 days after Summer went missing, they buried that dude. Do you think they dug the grave the day that Summer went missing? I'm saying it was dug between the day the dude died and the day Summer went missing, the 11th. Not if she went over there on the 15th when Candus left at some point in time off that fucking hill, took her over there. Maybe she went to Fred's and Fred helped her.
Bingo! Bingo! She did go to Fred's. And you know what we're finding out? We're finding out that Fred and Laura didn't ever leave. They didn't ever leave out of Ben Hill Road. They were there the whole time, is what we're hearing. We're hearing that no one ever seen Fred coming back into Ben Hill Road when the searchers were searching. And they said they know him when they see him, and nobody saw him. They said the only thing they saw was Fred trying to get out of Ben Hill Road, not coming in. That means he wasn't ever out. They were there the whole time. And Candus did go to Fred's, and she met up with Chad Arnold down there. And in my opinion, Laura was there, and Fred was there, and I believe Cotton Simpson was there too. And I truly believe Cotton seen what they did down there with this little girl. And Cotton told his mama, and he told his daughter. And his mama ended up just passing away out of nowhere. Right? Like 2 weeks before Cotton's getting out of jail, his mama, who he told, ends up unalived. And then Cotton ends up unalived right after he gets out. And guess who followed him? Fred and his cousin Marvin. Right? Or the guy. Actually, I talked to someone in Fred's family as well. Or not Fred's family, but Cotton's family. Over the last couple of days, I've been talking to someone out of Cotton's family. And they told me that they don't think Marvin is even related to Cotton. That's what they told me. Fred's trying to say he is, but they told me, and they're very close family. They said, nah, I don't think he is. Yeah. So you know what? Fred lies. But him and this Marvin, you heard Fred, they followed Cotton. And the next day, Cotton's found on the light. No money, no cigarettes, just his car parked and him on the light. I'm going to tell you, sounds awful damn suspicious to me.
If it was open on the 15th, all she would have had to do is go over there and dig down just a little bit more, put her in there, cover her back up. When they brought the vault in a few days before they buried the dude, the concrete vault would have been set on top of it, and nobody would have known no different. And we know who dug the graves. We know all that shit. So I don't think nobody would have paid any attention to if she was done in there the day of the 15th.
There you go. Like you said, they would have paid no attention because everybody knows everybody and they trust the grave diggers. There you go.
Clear this up too. PG said that I've been at Morrison Cemetery. I've not been there not one time since summer has passed or whatever.
There you go. What'd you say, Marlena?
And let's just clear this up too. PG said that I've been at Morrison Cemetery. I've not been there not one time since summer has passed or
Since summer has passed. I've been there one time since summer has passed. Not one time since she passed. And guess who Candus was talking to at 4:30 on the phone? She's talking to good old Marlena on June 15th, 2021 at 4:30 to Marlena. Right. I rest my case when it comes to these people. Right. I rest my case. I wanted to show you guys something. I want to show you something. This is Summer. Beautiful, sweet little Summer. Wasn't she a doll? Wasn't she just like a living little doll baby? Look how pretty she was. Look how she tried to force a smile. Look at that smile forced on her face. She was trying to get the best out of life. Right? Didn't have much of one, but she sure was trying to get the most out of it. And Teresa. Okay, girl, give me a minute and I'll bring you up. But there she is. There's sweet Summer. And here she is after they cut all of her hair off, right? After they cut all of her hair off, look at her. Take a look there. Because, you know, she wasn't too far. She wasn't too far, you know. You could tell she's sick here. You could tell, you know, look at her, how thin, and you could tell something's wrong. But you can't tell, you know, you can't tell it real well yet. But let's go on. Let's move on. You could tell at this point, you know, something's wrong. And there she is. There she is. She's still holding. This, I'm going to tell you, this was one tough little girl. She was tough little girl, full of light, full of love, full of kindness. She was a tough one. Look at her. She was just hanging on there. She's hanging in there. Doing all she could do. Look at her. You can tell. Look at how thin she's a getting. Take a look at her there. She's, you know, you could tell she's trying to hold it together. And there you go. There you go. Summer was going down little by little. You could see that, you know, and they were still pushing her. They were still pushing her. The day that she was doing this, you could tell someone was pushing her, like, you know, like a model on a runway. Someone was pushing her to walk forward, to turn around, to go, you know, what, sideways, to come. You could tell she was being instructed what to do for the video. They had somebody lined up. They had someone lined up. Maybe a few people for this video. That's my opinion. Right there behind her, for sale. There were some sick, evil stuff going on up there. Where it came to this little girl. When it came to this baby. Very evil. Very evil. Look. And you can tell this baby's not feeling well. And they're pushing her. She's being pushed here. To, you know, to keep doing. They're trying to get the last little bit out of her, right? Look at how sick. Look, she's not feeling well. Look at her eyes. That child is, you know, she's not even hardly with it anymore. Look at her. She's looking real bad. She's holding on to that swing with everything she got. I'm going to tell you, children who feel good do not hang on to a swing like this. We've all been, you know, where we feel top of the bucket. And you guys know, you know, how we do, right? How we do one hand, you know, hold on with one hand, waving with the other, you know, cross our arms, hold on to, you know, no hands. We just got our arms across it. When you're feeling good, you're not afraid. When you're feeling good, you know, you ain't hanging on to nothing like this. But I'm going to tell you, we've all had those sick days too, right? We've all had those days where we're not feeling too good, and you know, and you know how our parents are, how our parents was, you know, and they thought that maybe taking you to the park or taking you somewhere is going to, you know, to help you, cheer you up, maybe take you outside, let you swing on your swing, right? And you really don't want to be swinging. You're just not feeling well, and you're hanging on, you know, because you're just not feeling good. I think we've all had those days. You know, we've had our days, you know, maybe for people who can't relate to the child, let's talk about now as adults. We have our days when we bounce up and down the staircase, right? We just packing the laundry up, and we're packing it down, and we're not hanging on to no railings, and we're not doing anything, right? And then you get up, and oh my gosh, you know, you ate something bad, or you're just not feeling good. And man, I tell you what, you're hanging on to the railing, right? You're hanging on to that damn railing going down that staircase. Because you just ain't feeling good. You got a hold of that railing. Well, that's the way it is here. Look at that child's hands, man. I'm going to tell you, it's gripping that rope so tight. And her eyes, you can tell she just doesn't feel good at all. Matter of fact, she looks a little sedated. But kids that ain't feeling well will have that look. When something's wrong with you and you are not feeling good, you will have that look as well. Let's take a look at it. March, when they cut her hair completely off. Look at this. She went from looking like this vibrant, beautiful little girl in Robin's arms. Robin was, you know what? It's sad that Robin wasn't Summer's mother. It's sad that she wasn't. I wish she would have been, but she ain't. But look at her. And that's what they turned her into, because she was getting sick. And look at this. And that's Hunter right there standing behind her. Take a look. That's him standing behind her in April. He was up on 110 Ben Hill Road in April. Tried to lie and say he ain't been up there in months, almost a year. But that's not true. Right there he is, and that was April. That's when the picture got posted, April. Let's go on over here to June. Take a look. You could tell Summer was going downhill in April. Take a look at June, because there she is. There's the picture of Summer in June. And also in June, there she is on the milk jugs. Right there on the milk jugs. This picture was taken when Marlena's daughter was up on the hill in June, a few days before Summer went missing. That picture was taken. And that is why Summer had to end up destroyed, right, Candus and Don? She was sick, and you were afraid of going to prison if you took her to a hospital. You were afraid you were going to go to prison. You knew what was wrong. You knew what happened to her. Right, Don? Candus, you knew what happened to her. But instead of going to jail, you decided to destroy her and hide it. That's my opinion. I will keep it, and I will always have it, because that's what all the evidence shows. It shows you're just worthless, ungodly, lying, evil human beings that put these children through hell, to the point that 3 of them don't ever want to come back to Ben Hill Road. Your son would rather stay where he is than to be emancipated and come back around you. There you go. And you know, try to prove me wrong, Don and Candus. Try to prove me wrong about what I believe happened to your daughter. Try to prove me wrong. Because I'm going to prove myself right. I'm going to prove myself right now.
But my boss called me the other day. Man. Yes.
Okay.
Richard.
Oh.
He called me. I said that I sold somebody a tape, right? I sold some motherfucker a tape for $5,000 that showed him having sex with my daughter, right? Right? Showed him having sex with my daughter, right? $1,000 that showed him having sex with my daughter, right? That showed him having sex with my daughter, right? and then that's the whole thing. And he was crying. This motherfucker was actually crying. This motherfucker is like a big shot of this community. Like, oh, holy fuck. And he was crying. He says, but they're calling me a child molester. And I'm like, I started laughing.
Now, I think I proved myself right, Dawn. I think I proved myself right, Candus, right? I think I proved myself right. And believe in what I said. Right there. Right there. That came out of your mouth, Donald Wells. That came out of your mouth just now. And your old ladies. You two were right there saying it. Candus thought it's the funniest thing. And so did you. You two basically was right there talking about how you're trafficking your little girl, and that's more than likely why she ended up like this, needing to be destroyed. And that's why she ended up on the milk jugs, because your asses didn't want to go to prison. After letting her get destroyed. Right? I rest my case. I rest my case. Low life freaking trash. Low life freaking trash. Somebody named Teresa. It's in the back. But I don't know who she is. I don't know a Teresa that I know of. Okay. Okay. You close the camera.
Hey, I used to come up on panel with you all the time a couple of years ago.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, from Wisconsin.
Girl, been a long time. Been a long time.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hello, and it's so sick. It makes me so sick. I'm sure you turned that into TBI, but has that been turned into TBI?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hawkins County, TBI, all of them, even the feds are very much aware of
I
all
think
of it.
because it takes a long time to investigate trafficking cases, and
Right.
I'm hoping that's what they're doing, and that's what's taking
Right.
so long.
Well, I'll be speaking with someone tomorrow. I spoke with someone today, and I'll be speaking with someone even better tomorrow. And
That's awesome.
and I'm definitely doing everything I can to get that gravesite looked into, because I truly believe that possibility.
Tonight is the first time that I heard the full everything Andy said. I have never heard everything he said. I'm in shock. Like,
right.
Wow.
Right.
I believe that's where she's at too.
I do. I think Andy, I think Andy's probably, I think Andy's pretty evil himself. He's pretty bad. I don't know. I think he's pretty bad. But
I think if he went to the police, he could get immunity.
Right. I think Andy has a conscience.
Yeah. Stephanie, the feds, like when they do these investigations, they take a long time. So Candus and Don are just little fish. They want the big fish.
I understand that. I understand there's been more than just this turned in. Actually, I heard there's more. I heard that there's a lot more. Just recently.
Good.
That someone, I heard someone besides myself has turned in some really good stuff as well. So,
That's good.
you know, and I think I know who it is. I mean, they wouldn't. They wouldn't tell, but I think I know. You know, I think I know where the other information has came from.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's possibly, you know, there might be an arrest very soon. There may be an arrest very soon.
Well, I find it, yeah. I mean, the fact that the FBI took her off their list, to me, that's a good sign.
Well,
I don't know. To me, that's a good sign.
From what I'm hearing, you know, and I don't know, you know, this is just what I'm hearing. I can't say it's true, not true. It's just what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that, you know, that the arrest is going to, supposedly the arrest is going to be Candus. That's what I'm hearing. You know, I don't know.
Can I tell you what my theory has come to? And I think, okay, the fact that Don checked the shed, the very first thing, I think, this is just my opinion, that Candus was trafficking her out, and maybe she put her in the shed and somebody didn't bring her back. And you can't call the police. They can't call the police and say, "Oh, I was trafficking my daughter and they didn't bring her back."
No, she wasn't in no shed. Ronnie Lawson.
I just think maybe he was that they were doing something with
law enforcement. Law enforcement wanted to know what took 4 hours to call them. What took her 4 hours? And law enforcement is pretty sure it wasn't like definite enough to prosecute on, but they're like, you know, way over 50% sure. They're like closer to 100% sure than, you know, they're closer to the 100% than they are to the 50% that she was not, but that she was not live on the milk jug.
I don't think she was. Yeah, I never thought she was. Can you explain the black tote to me? Because I try to keep up. I've been following a couple other cases, and what did she say about this black tote?
She was talking to Chris, and she told Chris, she slipped up and told Chris that because he was asking about the seating arrangements, you know, and the vehicle. And the day on June 15th, 2021 with Hunter, you know, he was talking about the seating arrangements. And Candus mentioned, you know, told him that, you know, that Summer was against, you know, that you see she was against that black tote. There was no black tote.
But it was boxes.
It was brown boxes. She slipped up and said black tote.
Yeah.
And you know, and I played it out. You know, stuff like that, it's very easy to miss. It's very easy to miss, you know. If the videos you have to really, you got to
you have to listen over and over.
Right, you got to turn up the sound, and you've got to, you know, you got to play it over and over and over. I mean, it takes a lot of time. I put a lot of time.
It's like anything, you know, the more, like if you listen to things again, you hear things you didn't hear before, or you catch those little slips that you didn't before.
Yeah. Like she also said, you know, she thought that it was going to be cute for her to slide one in on Chris at another point as well, up at the house. She thought she's going to slide one in on him. And she said, told him that me and the boys went, and then she said, not Summer.
Yep, I remember. I saw you in that. I watch you. I just don't chat. I used to.
And she thought that nobody's going to catch that. You know, that's the inside joke. See, her and Dawn freaking bond over this sick, demonic, weird. You know, they're demonic. They are demonic. I hate to say it, but they are. They're very sick and they're very weird. And they bond over this sick, demonic type stuff. And they sit there, you know, and what Candus will do is, you know, she'll play that little piece and Guess,
It's
Dawn, here's Dawn. Guess what Candace did, sissy? Guess what Candace did? Listen to this. And then they'll
yeah.
play that little piece where she made that little
Jeez.
comment, that little slip in there, and that wasn't caught. And he'll be like, that dumb motherfucker didn't fucking catch that, did he? Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
They'll be
It's
laughing
you know
around.
what the most
And they,
evil laugh I've heard is
oh my
that
God,
recording
right?
about his boss. When you hear her laugh, that is
Right.
like the most evil shit I've heard in a
It's
while.
disgusting. It's absolutely, it makes my stomach turn. It really does.
Yes.
It makes my stomach turn
Yeah.
when I
Mine
hear
too.
people do this evil against a 5-year-old innocent little baby girl
I
that didn't
know.
deserve none of
Oh,
this to be done to her.
she looks so horribly sick in that
I-
last picture
she did. She did.
where
She was
she's
downhill.
hunched over. Oh,
Right. Exactly.
gosh,
And
that poor girl.
God bless her. God bless her.
Yeah.
You
But I
know,
think everybody in that holler knows what happened.
I agree.
You know,
I
the main
agree.
characters. So.
And I really think there's a special place in hell
Oh,
for,
there is.
for people who do such evil things.
There is. I
Children,
believe
like
it.
this. Maybe God don't want some people. Maybe some people are so
No,
evil. God
I
don't want
don't
them
think
paying for their.
God could forgive that.
I don't.
No.
I don't think He wants them. I don't think He wants them paying on earth for what they done. I think some people are so evil. God's going to just put them where they belong because they went beyond what it says that God will, He'll turn people over to what they call a reprobate mind, and He'll turn His
Yeah.
face away from them, and He will not ever work with them again. They are hellbound forever.
Yep. Yep.
And
And you might not agree, but you probably won't agree with me on this. I've seen a comment. Maryland Starbuck. I've always suspected because the LDS Church, it's kind of cult like. I was reading up a lot about it a while ago, and but the woman who she like rewrote the Bible. I mean, you can't do that.
the only thing I got, the only thing that I got. I mean, I wouldn't join a church like that. Absolutely not. I'm smarter than that. But I agree. Evil people are trying to call churches occults now. They're trying to turn the table and and make good look like evil and evil look like good, and
That's how the world is now. I believe
they
we're in
want
Revelations right
they
now.
want to take the focus off of what the real occult is, and the real occult is devil worshiping people who are satanic. They they read the devil's book, and they draw the pentagrams, and they do all the evil stuff that they believe that Satan's going to give them power and all this stuff and do all these things for them. They're basically believe that Satan can they can sell their soul to the devil and whatever. Well, I got news for people. I got news for folks. Satan's a liar. Humans, how can you sell anything that is not yours? Every human on the face of this earth belongs to God. We all belong to God. We're all God's children, no matter what. No matter if we're good, we're bad, whatever. We belong to God Almighty. And I'm going to tell you, you can't sell anything that isn't yours. So if you think you're selling Satan anything, you're not. And you're just I don't know what you think, but the only choices you have is to make the right choice or the wrong choice. The only choices you have is to pick if you want to be in heaven forever and work to be on the right road, or just stay on the big wide one and end up in Hades. That's what you got free will. Gives you free will to make choices, but you belong to God. We all do.
Right. I mean, the world now, it's like you're right. Like it's flipped upside down. They're trying to normalize pedophilia. Churches are deceiving their people. Not all churches, but some.
Well, there's a lot of churches that, you know, a lot of churches, those big churches take a lot of money to operate and
Yeah,
so
the
forth.
mega churches, all they care about is money.
And, you
They
know,
only
yeah,
care about money. Those
they preach for them.
it's
They do. They
disgusting.
preach for the money, and pass that. They pass that freaking plate more times than you can count. And you
Oh
know,
no.
you see it go by once. The next thing you know, it's going around again. And you know, they pass it on. They pass it before church, and they pass it after church, and they pass it a few
Yeah.
times in
Yep.
between the church. I don't know. I mean, it's like, you know, you see the plate more than you see the preacher.
Right.
But you know, and that is a problem. You know, they're not preaching for souls; they're preaching for the money. And you know,
Yep.
but the Bible plainly says this: God, you know, that God, these are wolves in sheep's clothing, and Jesus is going to tell them, "I don't know you." They're going to say, "Lord, I
Yes.
did this in your name, and I did that," and He's going to say, "I know you not. Get away from
Yep.
me." You
Yep.
know, so
Marilyn, I
you know,
agree. I feel the way you do, Marilyn, I think. Sorry, Prayer Garden.
um,
Yeah. I'm gonna hop down in a minute. I didn't know if you'd remember when it was always me and you and Wisconsin Mama.
right, right.
Like in the beginning, I was always up on panel with you.
Well, I appreciate you coming back up and hanging out with me.
Well, I watch you all the time. Yeah, I just don't chat much, you know.
Right, right. Sometimes, you know, sometimes people do have to step back, you know, kind of step back away from things.
Yeah,
Um,
because I got so emotionally invested in
for
another
your own
case,
sanity,
and
right? For your own
I had
sanity, you know,
yes, I'd take a break. Yep.
absolutely. I definitely, I feel you, girlfriend. I feel you.
Hmm. But hey, you take care,
You too. God
and
bless them.
I'm listening.
Hey, I
So
appreciate it. I
you,
appreciate it.
you
Right now I'm on edge because you know, we got a lot of people coming at us sideways and you know, and
yeah.
they do some really violent things and you know,
There's so much going on. It's
yeah,
just
world
crazy.
evil. This world's getting too evil. I wish it wasn't,
We're
but
in the days of Noah, Prayer Garden.
I'm going to tell you, I think we're past that. I think we're
Maybe
past
you're right. You could, yeah.
I think we're at the time where we better be keeping our lamps full of
Oh yes.
full. You know, we got to keep the light burning. You better have that light burning real bright. You know, we're
Yep.
supposed to be like beacons. We're supposed to be like beacons in the night on this earth. We're supposed to be shining our light so bright that, you know, other people can see it and they want, you know, they want to partake and have part of it as well. And
Right.
we're supposed to be leading people to God, not away from Him. And
Yep. Amen, Abigail Rose. Yep.
I just
Were you
wish,
in a spiritual warfare? Yep.
yes, we are. Yes, we are. That's true. That's very much true. But we can't stop we can't stop
No, it's
what,
written.
right, what was, you know, what was, is, and what is will be. And
Yep.
there's nothing we can do about it. You know, God controls all things. We control
Yes.
nothing. We control enough. We think we do, but we don't.
And
God
you know
controls
what?
everything.
I see so many more people turning to God. Is in the last, I'd
It says
say,
in the 5 years.
years.
It says in the last
So,
days He will. It says God
yeah.
will gather all of His people together. He'll gather us all together before His
Yeah.
coming, and we'll all be gone. And then,
Hmm.
you know, and once He takes His people when the rapture comes and He takes His people off the face of the earth, then the beast will rise up. And when the beast rises up, that's when it's going to be, you know, it's going to
Yeah.
be really bad. It's going to be
And look at Israel, the stuff that's, I mean, there's been Trump's fulfilling prophecies there. It's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
I heard that Trump is even offering to help build, to
build the
help.
third temple or
Amen.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. He said he would, you know, that he would put the money in there to build it. Um, you know, and we all should. We all should. Matter of fact, there is there is a place that you can actually donate to help, to help build the temple. And I think everyone should have, I think everyone should have, have money put into that. It says, that the Bible plainly states that, when you help God's children, you will be blessed. When you bless Israel, God will bless you. So that's his people, whether people want to believe it or not, that's his people. And they'll always be his people. The Bible does, the Bible separates the Jews from the Gentiles. And, so that's God's children. That's his chosen children. And, that's the motherland. That's the holy place. And, you ain't going to get me to do anything or say anything. I love Israel. I love the Jewish people. I love everybody. I love everybody.
Debbie, yeah, you're right, Debbie. But that's how I used to be, and now when I pray, I thank God when things are good. I'm grateful. I'm learning to, if you make like a gratitude journal, because you're right, you can't just turn to God when you're having difficult times. You have always be with God, and
a lot of people, I agree. I agree with Debbie as well. A lot of people do when they're having real bad times. I'm going to tell you, I didn't find God. God found me. He found me. He found me as a child in a hallway, very abused. And I'm going to tell you, I thank God every day he found me in that hallway. I thank God every day he's always been with me. I love God with everything. I go to church. I go to church every single day. Every single day.
I know you do.
I thank God. And I thank God that, he gives me all the things I need to be able to do what I do in this life. And, I've always been grateful. I don't like to put burdens on God. If I can do everything myself, then I like to do that. I like to do that because I know God's busy. I know he's busy and he has other people to tend to. But
it's in God's time. We want some found, but it's got to be in God's time.
Absolutely. That's the one thing I've always said out here is that, we can't push God to do nothing. God does everything on his time, not ours. And, and we want all the answers. And I think God's gave them to us. I think God has let us figure out exactly what went down June the 15th, 2021. I think God has let us know what happened before that, what was going on, what led up to it, what happened that day. And I think God has really gave us all the answers little by little. He's gave us all the answers.
Oh, you're the best. You have worked so hard. Prayer Garden, I'm going to say something. I know that you've said a lot of times you don't want to put a Cash App or nothing up, but you deserve it. We would not think any less of you. It's expensive to run your own channel. It takes your time. You're researching when you're not even online. People don't know, how hard you're working. And I think none of us, we would gladly, if you put a Cash App or a PayPal, you deserve it. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I don't think.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I do.
I know how you feel.
Super chat.
I know how you feel about it.
I have the super chats and super stickers. And render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's.
I know. I know how you feel about it. I think you deserve a lot.
I know that God's gonna let the channel. I trust in Him, and I know He's gonna let the channel make what it needs to keep going. And
right.
and it makes a lot of times, I make enough to pay the StreamYard, which takes a burden, the burden off of me having to, pay that. And I can allocate that money towards, the apps and other things, to put the content and everything together. And I'm grateful for that, And sometimes, it'll at least pay for a couple of the apps, which, allows me to not have to allocate, as much money, because I can allocate that money to the StreamYard, which takes a burden off of me,
Yeah.
and paying it all. So I'm happy. I'm happy with, how it works out and how it goes.
That's
And,
good.
and I'm very thankful. I'm just very thankful that, that God trusted.
Well, I've been here I remember when you were on Ziggy's, and then as soon as you made your own channel, I was right there. I couldn't wait.
I'm going to tell you something, though. That wasn't me. That wasn't.
God,
I didn't make this channel. I did not make this
God.
channel. God did. God, that was
God.
God's idea, not PG's. He just using me as a vessel. I'm nothing but a vessel up here to
Right.
do what needs to be done, obviously, for this little girl. And
Yeah.
but all glory to God. I mean, I am not taking no credit for any of this. I mean, I can only do what God lets me do. And that's it. That's just how, I live my life, and whatever God lets me do, I'm very grateful and thankful that He does.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm gonna get down. I haven't been on StreamYard since I used to go up with you. So if I can't get off of here, you might have to kick me.
Okay, girl. I've been out.
Hey, God bless you, Prayer Garden.
I feel so terrible when I have to kick people.
It's hilarious when you do.
I
But
tell you.
okay.
God
Have
bless
a good
you.
night.
God
bless.
Bye bye. I don't. Every time Australia comes up here, I have to give her the steel-toed boot. It makes me feel so bad. It makes me feel so bad when I have to kick people I love. Right? When I have to kick people I love, it makes me feel bad. But I tell you, you got to stick with God. You got to stick with God. I don't have Cash Apps, Venmos, PayPals because I just think it's wrong. That's my opinion. I just think it's wrong. And I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm here for these missing kids. I just want them found. I want them brought home, justice served, and most of all, I want the people here to be on the righteous path the same as I am. Right? I truly think God put me here for these missing kids, but I think He put me here for all of you as well. I think He put me here to maybe, try to help lead you in the, to the light where you're supposed to be, and on a righteous path. And, just one person, if just one person listens, it was worth it all, to be honest with you. But, yeah, God bless and much love. All right, you guys, PG's going to head out of here. I'm going to head out of here for the night. But, I want to, before I head out of here, I want you guys to pray for Summer Moon New Tall Wells. Before you go to bed tonight, please clap your hands together, bow your head, and ask God Almighty to please let some movement be in this case. Let them move over to Morrison Cemetery and check that particular grave site for this little girl, because right now we really need to know if she's there or not. We really want to know if she's there or not. And please, asking to let this happen for Summer's sake, not ours, for Summer's sake, so she can be found, properly laid to rest, and that her brothers can get closure. And we need closure too. We love this little girl like she's our own. We love her. We care about her. And we want her found. We just want her found. So before you go to sleep tonight, please send a prayer up for Summer Moon Utah Wells. She's counting on us. She's counting on us, you guys. And you know what? Let us talk to God about that. Tell him that she is counting on us to find her, bring her home, get justice for her. And we need his help to do it. We can't do it on our own. And remember to pray in Jesus' holy name. Amen. And pray for these other missing children as well. Michael Vaughn hasn't been found. I hear his mother's doing very well. Let us thank God for that. Let us look up and thank him for that. And let us continue putting the prayers up for Brandy as well. I mean, you know, I hear she's out of the woods, but she still needs prayers. She still needs prayers. You know, she's still got a missing son who she dearly wants to find. So let us pray that he gets found as well, so his mother can get the closure and peace she needs as well in all of this. And pray for Sebastian Rogers. Pray for his dad. His dad really wants him found. He wants to know where his son is. Let us pray for them. And let's pray for Jack and Lily that still hasn't been found as well. Let us pray for them two babies. Let's pray for the family, the people, the grandparents, and the people around these babies who truly cared about them and don't know what happened and wants to know. They have a need to know. Let us pray for them. And let us pray for little Emmanuel, who has not been found as well. Let's pray for that baby also. He was a beautiful child, beautiful child. No child should be abused like this. No child should be missing like this. This should not ever happen to any child on this earth, let alone in our country. So let us send those prayers up and keep them going up, because I know God will answer. He answers. I tell you. I know that no is an answer too. I know the word no is an answer as well. But let us keep praying. Let us keep praying. Because I know everything's on God's time. And just because he's saying no right now, don't mean he'll keep saying no if we keep praying. So keep the prayers going up. Amen. Keep them going up for one another as well. So many people needing prayers. Our people need prayers. I'm going to tell you, there's power in prayer. There is a lot of power in prayer. And when you're praying for one another, everybody will be feeling better. Everybody. I don't know what your problems are, but God does. And whatever you're dealing with, if you just pray for one another, all of that will be gone. It'll all go away. Anything you're dealing with, it'll be gone for all of us as long as we're praying for one another. Families that pray together, stay together. Remember that. So keep praying. And we are a family. We're a family put together by God for Summer, for Sebastian, for Michael's, for all missing kids. We're a family put together by him. So pray for one another as well. Good night, everybody. God bless. Much love.